Chumley, the beloved Pawn Star, has had many ups and downs in his personality, but his most recent court case shocked everyone. What could have caused such a sudden turn for Austin Lee Russell, who is loved by fans and is known as Chumley on the hit reality TV show Pawn Stars? Chumley is known for his charm, humor, and love of odd collectibles. Even though Chumley joined the show 5 years into its successful run, his rise to fame and wealth is a testament to his hard work and unique personality. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, Chumley's father gave him the nickname Chumley as a joke about a cartoon character. Pawn Stars is a show about the daily life of Rick Harrison's gold and silver pawn shop in Las Vegas. At first, Chumley worked behind the counter, but his contagious personality and ability to make people laugh quickly got him a spot in front of the camera. Even though he joined the show late, his role has changed a lot because he is so close with Harrison and Harrison treats him like a son. $1,000 per episode, he quickly used his newfound fame to start several businesses and build up his personal collections. His net worth is now around $5 million, which is supported by his love of classic cars like a Rolls-Royce Phantom and a Cadillac Escalade, as well as his collection of over 200 pairs of shoes. In addition to his material possessions, Chumley's interests include pinball machines, video games, and Pokemon cards, which show his wide range of tastes and entrepreneurial spirit. However, Chumley's rise to fame hasn't been easy. In the world of antiques and collectibles, he's been criticized for buying fake items like a Gibson guitar that wasn't what it seemed to be. Despite these setbacks, Chumley's humility and willingness to learn from his mistakes have won him fans all over the world. His ability to laugh at himself and accept his flaws has made him a relatable reality TV star. Chumley's ability to spot treasures isn't limited to. Chumley is an expert on more than just antiques. He knows a lot about rare bicycles, Samaria swords, and vintage sneakers, and he can tell the difference between real and fake Jordans in seconds. In a memorable episode of Pawn Stars, he traded 3 samurai swords for $3,800, not knowing that they were worth more than $113,000. This deal showed how good he is at what he does. People admire Chumley's positive attitude and ability to make profitable trades. His ventures outside of Pawn Stars have also been noteworthy. In the 8th season of the show, he spent $8,700 on a Bowden Spacelander bike, worth about $20,000, showing his love for rare and valuable items. This move left viewers in shock. People are amazed by Chumley's wide range of tastes and risky investment choices outside of TV. His entrepreneurial spirit is shown in his candy shop, which he opened with his brother Sage Russell, and stocked with nostalgic treats like candy cigarettes and Razzles to meet both his own needs and the needs of customers. His candy shop has become a local favorite thanks to his ability to think outside the box and understand what customers want. Talking about the idea of a spin-off series about his candy business, Chumley expressed interest in expanding beyond Pawn Stars, but he remains committed to the show that made him famous, recognizing the challenges and rewards of both ventures. Even though there were setbacks, like when Rick Harrison closed his next-door business, Chumley's shop continued to do well, helped by because of its prime location and Chumley's continued popularity, his Las Vegas home became the center of a police investigation that would change his public image. In March 2016, Las Vegas police carried out a search warrant at Chumley's home, initially in connection with a sexual assault claim. The search revealed shocking evidence, including cash, firearms, drugs including marijuana and methamphetamine, and a collection of guns including handguns, revolvers, rifles, and shotguns, some of which were stored. The police report painted a vivid picture of the items they found in different rooms, including the famous Chum room with a dance pole. They found drug paraphernalia and money that had drug residue on it, which was very different from Chumley's character on TV. His initial reluctance to open his vault showed how serious the situation was. He said it held personal items, including guns and marijuana for personal use, which was against the law, because drug users aren't allowed to have guns. This caused police to seize the weapons and drugs, setting the stage for a long legal battle where Chumley would be charged with felony drug crimes and gun possession. His lawyer, David Chernoff, fought hard for him in court, while Chumley's public story changed. As soon as Chumley was arrested, the media focused more on his defense and went through every part of his personal and professional life. The plea bargain was a turning point when Waters chose to plead guilty to lesser charges, such as felony drug possession and misdemeanor weapon possession. Chumley wanted to avoid going to jail, so the agreement required him to go through probation counseling and give up the firearms that had been seized. It was a key moment in his quest for accountability and reputation rehabilitation. Chumley wasn't the only Pawn Stars cast member to get into trouble with the law. Corey Bigos Harrison also had some public legal problems in 2011. Corey got into trouble after a fight at Murray's Saloon in Everett in Big Bear Lake, California, late one Sunday night after a heated argument between Corey and another customer got into a fight that drew the attention of a security guard and a sheriff's deputy. When they tried to stop it, Corey shoved both the deputy and the guard. This outburst got him arrested for battery and resisting arrest and put him in jail for a few hours to sober up before he was released. Corey's lawyer later said that the police had asked him to apologize, but he refused. Corey thought he hadn't done anything wrong, but his problems didn't end there. Fast forward to 2021, and he was back in the news for trashing a rented RV. Corey had rented a 37 TRV from William VF through the rental marketplace RV Share. He planned to use the RV as an office during a 3-day trip to the California desert, but things went badly when Corey returned the RV 6 days later. It was in a terrible state of repair. The owner of the RV was shocked when he saw how bad it was. The body was damaged, the awning was missing, and the inside was a mess. Pictures showed eggs broken on the floor and vodka bottles strewn all over the place. Damage was extensive, with Villa estimating repair costs of between $20,000 and $30,000. Villa described his experience, mentioning that he hadn't recognized Corey when he delivered the RV. Corey had been polite, and the rental agreement was signed without any problems. However, things went wrong. When Corey's assistant told MedVilla that they wouldn't be returning the RV on time, days went by and Villa was told that the RV had been in an accident with an ATV. When the RV finally arrived at Villa's storage facility, it was a mess, and Villani tried to get compensation from Corey, but Corey refused to pay the insurance coverage through RV Share. Corey denied causing the damage, and the villa owner's anger was clear as he talked about how the incident forced him to cancel 10 reservations, which had a big effect on his already stressed business. Chumley and Corey were also having legal problems, and Rick's dealings in the pawn shop caused a lot of trouble. In one of Rick's worst experiences, a guy in a sharp suit walked into the pawn shop with what looked like a collection of valuable diamonds. Rick, who was used to dealing with such people, did what he always does and asked all the right questions. The right questions were asked about where the diamonds came from and how they were obtained, and proof of purchase was asked for. The seller gave convincing answers and recipes that looked like they were real. Rick felt confident in the deal and bought the diamonds for over $40,000. However, just days later, the police showed up at the pawn shop with bad news. The news that the diamonds had been reported stolen, the receipts and answers that looked real were actually part of a sophisticated scam. The police took the diamonds and returned them to their rightful owner. Rick and the pawn shop lost all $40,000. Rick later remembered this as one of the shop had one of the biggest busts in its history, which was a costly lesson in the risks of high-stakes pawnbroking. But Rick's problems with stolen goods didn't end there. Another interesting story involved a man named Ryan who came into the shop with a shekel of tire. This was a silver coin made in Lebanon between 130 BC and 79 AD that had a lot of historical value. What made it even more interesting was Ryan's claim that it could be one of the 30 pieces of silver were given to Judas Iscariot for betraying Jesus Christ, as told in the Bible. Even though this unbelievable claim couldn't be proven, Rick couldn't resist the chance to buy the shekel of tire for $1,600, which he thought was a fair price given its possible historical importance. Not long after the transaction, though, the sheriff came to the shop with more bad news. The coin had been stolen, but not by Ryan. It had been stolen by someone else before it got to him. Luckily for the pawn shop, they were able to keep the coin because of insurance payouts. But that wasn't the end of the story. When Rick looked more closely, he saw that Ryan had cleaned the coin, which made it worth a lot less. In its original state, the shekel of tire would have been worth around $1,200. Ryan's cleaning had made it worth much less, meaning Rick had. This transaction, which was full of historical intrigue and financial miscalculation, added another chapter to the pawn shop's story of dealing with stolen goods. But not all the drama happened outside the gold and silver pawn shop. Some of the worst mistakes happened inside the shop, and Chumley was often at the center of them. At the gold and silver pawn shop, the back room is where the most valuable and fragile items are kept. Things that are stored need to be handled with the utmost care, but Chumley didn't always take this responsibility seriously. His casual and often careless attitude led to some expensive mistakes that made Harrison angry. One of the most notable incidents involved a $20,000 guitar that Chumley was in charge of managing the storage area for. But instead of securing the guitar, he leaned it against a stand, and it fell and broke beyond repair. When the customer came back for the guitar, the shop had to pay $20,000 out of pocket to cover the damage. This was bad for business and for their reputation. Rick and his team were upset because they had told Chumley many times how important it was to handle things carefully, but he didn't listen. His playful nature often got the best of him, and security cameras caught him messing with valuable items more than once. His antics were a constant source of frustration for Rick, who had to figure out how to balance Chumley's value to the show with the practicalities of running a successful business. Chumley's behavior in the back room wasn't limited to just one or two incidents. He was careless on more than one occasion. He broke an antique vase by throwing a football around in the storage area, and he also knocked over a rare and valuable painting, damaging it beyond repair. Each time, the shop had to pay for the damage and deal with angry customers. These back row accidents made High's job as a pawn shop owner even harder. Customers brought their things to gold and silver expecting them to be. Even though these problems were handled with care and respect, people lost trust in the shop. If word got out that they couldn't be trusted with valuable items, it could be very bad for their business. Despite these problems, Rick kept Chumley on the team because the History Channel liked having him on the show, and his antics, while expensive, made for entertaining TV. Rick knew that firing Chumley would change the way Pawn Stars worked, which meant finding a way to limit the damage Chumley could do. One very expensive mistake Chumley made involved a vintage motorcycle that he was curious about and decided to take it for a spin around the back lot. The expensive bike fell over and sustained major damage, and the shop had to pay for the repairs. This was another mistake in Chum's long history of making mistakes in the back room. Rick's patience was often put to the test, but he knew that Chumley's presence on the show was invaluable. Fans loved having Chumley on the show. Even though Chumley's antics and odd personality caused Rick and the team a lot of trouble, they were still fun to watch. The gold and silver pawn shop had even bigger problems with its transactions, which sometimes involved costly mistakes and shady business. One of the most controversial events involved a set of beautiful gold coins. The story began when Jennifer Beckman, walking into the pawn shop while filming and offering to sell some valuable gold coins. The deal seemed simple. She gave the coins to the shop, and they paid over $10,000 for them. Everyone was happy, but things weren't so simple after all. Jennifer had stolen the coins from her uncle, and Rick and his team didn't know it. As soon as they found out about the theft, they reported it to the police. Jennifer was arrested, and her uncle demanded that she return his coins. This quickly turned into a legal nightmare for the pawn shop. The biggest problem was that Rick had already melted the coins down to get the most money out of them, which is common in the pawn business but a big problem in this case. Usually laws don't allow the selling of stolen goods, but gold coins are an exception. This put the pawn shop in a tough spot, and the uncles claimed that the coins were worth over $50,000 added to the problem. Rick and his team disputed this value, saying it was too high. In the end, the whole situation cost them a lot of money and their reputation, since they couldn't return the coins and the uncle tried to sue them. Due to legal protections, the pawn shop failed and ended up with serious embarrassment. Despite the problems and controversies, Chumley's rise to fame has been anything but dull. In addition to his role on Pawn Stars, he has also been in a number of notable shows, including American Restoration. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and Live with Kelly and Ryan made him a well-known figure in pop culture. In 2022, Chumley's personal life again got people's attention. His weight loss journey, which was similar to Corey Harrison's 100-pound drop in 2014, became a focus for fans. This attention gave Chumley the chance to start his own merchandise line and sell t-shirts with his unique designs. This venture was successful and added another source of income. Chumley didn't stop there. He spent another $115,000 to buy half of Rick Harrison's shares in the pawn shop business, showing that he was committed to growing his business interests. Despite his legal problems in 2016, Chumley's reputation among viewers stayed mostly intact. His commitment to the show and efforts to interact with fans were key in keeping his popularity. In early 2019, Chumley made headlines again by selling his home in Las Vegas for almost $1.375 million, which is a big jump from the $1 million he paid for the house in 2012, which included a large living room and his famous Chum Room. The house and room showed off his personal style and smart investment choices. Chumley also got into music, especially hip-hop, which gave him another way to express himself creatively and make money through DJ sets at places like the Gold Spike Day Club in Las Vegas. Crowds of people want to see Chumley's unique mix of music and entertainment. His journey from reality TV star to multifaceted entrepreneur shows how strong and determined he is. Whether it's through business ventures, real estate investments, or DJ performances, Chumley continues to grow and adapt in the ever-changing world of entertainment and entrepreneurship.